previous clips discussing the management of back orders, we recommended letting the buyers take care of the situation by adding the back order to a stocking purchase order. If that does not work for us, we can create requests to have the material shipped directly to our customer by either the vendor or another branch. This means we do not have to incur handling and delivery overhead. However, sometimes there are scenarios where the back order must be satisfied by bringing the material into our branch. Typically, this occurs where the order must ship complete or there are issues with delivering to the job site. One method used to bring material into our branch is to transfer from a regional distribution center, or RDC, or from another branch. Remember, if your branch belongs to the RDC network and the RDC has available inventory to satisfy our back order, then a transfer will be automatically generated. However, there can be timing issues. Typically, transfers from an RDC are created mid-afternoon. This gives the pickers time to pull the material and to load the trucks. If our back order is created after the transfers are generated, we will need to make a specific request for a transfer from the RDC in exactly the same way we would request a transfer from one of our branches. The key point with regard to a transfer is we, as inside salespeople, cannot create the transfer. We can only make the request. Transfers are either created by our buyers or by our district administrators. To communicate with our buyers, we will use an Eclipse tracker. Position the cursor on the back order. First, we need to determine which branches have available material. To press Alt-Q inquiries, followed by Alt-I inventory inquiry. This action lists all our branches, including any regional distribution centers. We can see available inventory. We can also see the rank. While there are 3 columns, it is the first that is most significant. A means the item is a big seller at the branch. G means it's probably not selling at the branch. They would be really happy if they could send it to us. We can further verify the status of the item by checking the demand column. This is the average monthly demand. We can quickly do the math by dividing the demand into the available. Typically, a branch will need a 2-month supply on the shelf. If our math computes to less than that, we will probably not get a transfer. 2 other considerations for us are cost and proximity. We really don't want to bring the material at a higher cost than we show at our branch, nor do we want to incur high freight charges because the other branch is geographically remote. Once we have made our decision, we must let our buyer know. From the back order, to press the Shift key and the F4 function. This brings up the Job Queue Tracker screen. Trackers are discussed in more detail in another clip. To press Enter. To send a message to the buyer, to press Alt-A, Append. In the To field, enter either the buyer's 6-character login or the buyer's name. Select by depressing Enter. The next action field will show our login. Depress the spacebar to delete. Now enter our message indicating we need a transfer from the branch we determined best to meet our criteria. Also indicate when and how the material should be transferred. To press Escape until we return to the sales order entry screen. Our tracker has been sent. That was using a buyer. Now let's use our district administrator. Unless you have a specific reason you want a transfer from a particular branch, you can leave the decision making to the administrator. Rather than using a tracker, we will use a combination of internal comments and a procurement request. From the back order, to press Alt-C, Comments, and switch from General to Internal. Indicate when and how we need the transfer. Enter a branch number only if we have specific needs. Escape to the status screen. To press Alt-R, Procure. Enter all in the 3 fields in the top left-hand corner. Locate the back order and specify the quantity we need to transfer. Escape, and our request is sent. So that's how we transfer. Our next clip will deal with the process called procurement.
Meep, meep.